I'm not even sure I should be doing that one, frankly. There we go. And actually, I could do another as well. Sure. Let me go and grab the coal for that. But yeah, when I actually when we actually got computing classes, one of the things with programming, and this is kind of what I mean with the magazines and the most important lessons they taught me wasn't literally a language, but how to see the patterns in all languages. I just had a printout, and the idea was that while the professor was talking about the language, we were going to then follow the instructions and start messing around with variables. I kind of tuned out the professor, and that was really, really bad of me, and I do not recommend this. But I was just looking at the code and just kind of worked out what it was all doing. It was a language I'd never encountered before. It was a language that that doesn't really serve any practical purpose now, but it's a good one for teaching core concepts of programming. It was really easy to just look at it and like, oh, okay, yeah, this all kind of breaks down. And I could more or less visualize what it was going to do on the screen before we even started up the compiler and started typing it all in, or rather the IDE. Yeah, 90% of languages are the same at their core. They just have a different syntax or a different well, I think this is a better way of describing computing languages. They're different dialects rather than different languages. I think that's probably the best way to describe the differences between languages. It's much more that they're different dialects than whole languages. There we go. Set that up. Okay, now that's going to take us a little while. Pascal, actually. Murder of Phoenixes. But more or less true either way. My computer professor was super old school. Like, I'm fairly certain the way he talked anyway. Oh, he was definitely around before the internet. But the way he talked, he was responsible for helping it be designed. Maybe that was true. But had very, very old school ideas on how to teach computing. And to be fair, did quite well. But yeah, it did feel a little bit like my school was kind of stuck a good 5 to 10 years in the past when it came to computing. Sadly. I would have very much liked it if it was a little bit more modern. But, you know, it did its job. It did its job. It got us, you know, I'm going to leave this in there because I don't know where better to put it. It certainly helps people get into programming. He was actually quite good at that, to be fair. The other teacher we had in computing, honestly, I'm not even sure why they were teaching computing, because it seemed more like they wanted to be an accountant. It was a very practical sort of computing, but not very imaginative. Like, it told us how to program very sparingly. More how to program on Excel than anything else. But, you know, there were spatterings of actual coding in there. I say actual coding, you know, to be fair. The amount of coders I know that can't wrangle an Excel sheet is surprisingly quite a lot. But they didn't so much seem interested in programming because of all of the amazing things you could do, but rather, you know, in a practical, these are skills that will get you employed in an office kind of sense. This is programming. And to be fair, for a majority of people, I guess that's actually what they needed. Or what was going to be more useful to them. I was more interested in other things, though. Right. Let me grab some stone. We need to rise this land a bit, and then we're going to start plumping down a healthy amount of palisades. Yeah, we need to lift this land quite a lot back here. I'm gonna have to pull this down as well, obviously, but we'll get there. Right, mission required, good. Now let's start leveling this off. Plug that in here. Some of it I'm gonna need to swing back and probably raise again, actually looking at it. I'm pulling it down a little bit too aggressively, but I've lowered this now a little bit too much. I want those to be underneath the dirt. Much more like it is on that side. Problem is I don't want to have to use thousands of stone in order to do it. Which causes a bit of a problem. At university, my programming teacher used Java as a base language and focused more on teaching us how to program regardless of the language we were using, meaning that I can pick up languages without any problem, just need a little time to get used to the syntax. Yeah, no, exactly. And that is generally a better way of doing it. It's the whole, you know, teach a man to fish sort of thing. You can teach a person to code in a specific language, or you can teach a person how to teach themselves any language. That's better. That's much better, yes. Okay, I can even possibly have the well, actually, the palisades over here, they're going to be quite high up. I'm going to want to bring them down around this corner, but I may want this level up. And actually, having the palisades on top of what will effectively be a little cliff face won't actually be a problem at all. Your first 2 years in high school computer class was learning to type. Oh, wow. Like, are you being serious with that? Because, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me that perhaps that's the sort of thing that happens, but that doesn't seem particularly... I mean, it's... Again, actually, that kind of is almost on par with what I was mentioning about the second computing teacher. They were more hyper-focused on the practical way that most of the students would be using any knowledge of computing. Like I said, kind of like, you know, spent an inordinate amount of time more or less teaching us how to use Excel. And I guess, like, teaching people how to type would probably fall in with that, because, you know, that's a marketable skill. I'm not going to lie, you know, being able to touch type is a seriously marketable skill. Most people can type, but touch typists can type quickly, and that is very useful. And the US high school doesn't really teach computing by default. Really? That's a shame. One would have assumed that they would. Considering, I mean, the US has got a very big history with computing, in a broad sense. It's a bit strange. I taught myself how to touch type when I was really young, because if I turned the lights on, it would tend to wake other people up, and I wasn't. It's not so much I wasn't allowed to be up, but definitely it wasn't the smartest move sometimes to draw attention to the fact that I was up. Let's say. So I just learned to touch type so that I would be able to type without being able to see the keyboard. Literally the reason I learned how to touch type. It took me like 2 weeks or so. Yank all of that. Pop that back over here. Need to continually top up the furnace there. Sorry, the coal supply, because I'm going to use a lot of it. There we go. We'll go through an entire stack of wood here. Really wish there was a way to just apply all of the material in one go, but there we go. Right, time to... What, really? Still can't? Oh, that, of course, yeah. I need a crafting bench. That should do. We'll take this palisade down and then start curving it around. Actually, probably around here we want to curve it. So we're going to have to start curving soon. Tea's good. Pump. Yeah, I definitely feel that computing in general is it's honestly a skill that if your country hasn't invested a lot of time in teaching that to its students, it is gonna fall behind. Like in a nation level, it's going to fall behind. I don't feel at all nervous about making that prediction. You cannot, absolutely cannot neglect computing, not in our world. You shouldn't generally be neglecting any kind of education elements. All of them are useful. All of them are needed in some way or another. I mean, you know, with certain exceptions, perhaps, you know, specialist knowledge, especially stuff that was really only useful back in ye olden days, but, you know, doesn't really have a place in the modern world. Okay, arguments to be made there, but generally speaking, if you're not heavily investing in education, specifically about computing, then that is probably a bad sign. Ah. Okay, let me move this. I have to do a bit... Well, actually, I guess I don't really have to lift it up on this side. I mean, it's meant to look like it's been padded out for fortification, so... But I may need a little bit of extra smoothing out there, perhaps. Do I have much more wood? Yes, I do. Good. Oh, apparently I don't. There. We need every 2, effectively. So in there. Poop. Well, I mean, I guess I haven't made them all adhere to the same sort of pacing. Over there, I kind of jostled them a little bit, where I couldn't make a nice connection. I didn't bother trying. Okay, not too bad. Going to need more stones here. Catch up on what chat's saying. Thanks for another chill stream to top off my weekend. Anything special on the to-do list? And have I missed anything special in the first 4 hours? Well, the first 4 hours was Civ, so no, you haven't. I'm currently making some poison resistance potion because my goal today is to explore the swamps. But while I'm waiting on that to brew, I'm sorting out the defenses here a little bit better because we've had some shenanigans with things coming along and breaking the portals, which is kind of terrifying. So far, we decided the first item on the agenda was swamp exploration, yes. Which led to a foray into the Black Forest to procure thistles to make poison resistance mead. And now some light fortification while the mead is brewing. Indeed. That was quite a good recap there, John Philip. Schools vary heavily by state in the US. That makes, you know what, that is such an important thing to point out, because I am so bad at talking about the US as if it's just a single country, and it's kind of not. It's a single country in the same way a patchwork quilt is a single quilt. They all roughly adhere to the kind of characteristics of the whole, but each patch can be fantastically different compared to each other patch. It is all part of the same quilt. It's just some parts look very different. Some parts are different shapes. Some parts are different textures. Why did I just quaff that potion? I don't know. Some parts are healing mead potions. And some parts are really not. I am wasting stones, something horrible right now. So let's try to stop that. The amount of digging I'm going to have to do to fix this though. Ugh. Alright. Pick out. And let's go. Is that more or less right? I actually need to come up a little bit. That's a bit better. But yeah, when I was saying, oh well, you know, I'm surprised the US doesn't focus on computing a little bit more. Very guilty of treating and thinking of the US as a single entity, and I imagine the differences between the states are probably more than the similarities between the states. I have no idea what the equivalent to the sixth form is in America. Not even the slightest, faintest Scooby, I'm afraid. I have no clue. And I always struggle to explain sixth form to my American friends. Like always. Right, let's get this palisade built out a bit more. Oh, actually, I need some more wood for that. Though, of late, actually, I found it really... I found one of the best ways that I can explain the sixth form experience to Americans is like, you know how it was in Hogwarts when they had their own little common rooms and things like that? That's basically what the sixth form is, plus classes. Sixth form is like the place between a student and a teacher. You're neither one, really. Out and then start drawing it down here a little bit more aggressively. I think about there should work. So this now needs to be very much adjusted. Also that needs to be moved. Yeah, I think that's decent. Let's try and smooth this a little bit. Okay, that's ruined that part, but we can adjust it. I need to pull this part down though. Absolutely just took it too far, but oh well. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lift it up again around here. That's a shame. I have enough rocks for it? No, of course I don't. Okay, well there's a couple of rocks out here that I can go and grab. We're getting there, but the terrain modification tools are a little bit finicky. In the politest way you could put it. Hello! Sorry. That was a delayed dodge. Or as I would like to call it, a useless dodge. Uh-oh. And you're poisoning me. Oh, that's annoying, but it's not going to be a big issue. Oh, that'll be a big issue, because I'm actually really low on stamina now. Buff potion, apply stamina, then apply death. Then quaff potion for health. Okay. I'm Canadian living in the US. In the US, you typically go to high school until you're 18. If you're lucky, your high school has a program that allows you to complete your first year of uni for free, but only if you pass. After high school, you're expected to go to uni or get a job and move out of your parents' house. Okay. I mean, part of that sounds like cultural norms rather than specific education differences, like the whole move out of your parents' house thing. I imagine different places expect very different things of their youth. Hello, Ghoulish Ducky. Welcome to the stream. We're just gathering materials so that I can flesh out our palisade at the moment. You know what? It's probably going to be a lot better if I rise this side of the palisade rather than the other. And then flatten it. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Did I literally just undo it? I did. That should do it. Problem is, I'm going to need it to be lifted up on this side because I have to put the connections in. The support struts. So I really did no favor to myself when I was trying to adjust the levels before. I should have just left them where they were. Or rather, I should have leveled from on this side, rather. Still getting to grips with how best to terraform, unfortunately. It'll take me a little while to be absolutely confident with it. Do we get castles? I am fairly certain there is stone buildings, yes. Apparently I'm going to have so much fun when I get to the next tier of resources through the swamps. I assume you meant resources. Running skill. Oh, we're actually past the halfway mark on our running skill. Well, thank you very much, Ziggity Zigzag, for the 11 months. It is 11 minutes ago. The 2 months. The second month, best month. And thank you ever so much for the anonymous gifter who just renewed Duffelfish's sub. Thank you very, very much indeed. That should do. It's a little bit squiff, but it should be okay. Definitely need to sort this out because that is just a mess. Right, do I have any wood on me? Yes, I do. It is really important to me that these look like they're properly sunk. I know it is annoying to watch me fuss about something that is ultimately so trivial, but it matters to me. Finally, the rain came out. I can probably hide a lot of the squiffiness back there with a cultivator and some grass. We come here to watch you fuss about things that are trivial. On one hand, that's comforting. On another, I'm not sure it's comforting at all. In fact, I feel a little bit bad about that. There we go. Let's get some grass back here. Just a little bit. There we go. That looks a bit better, I think. Okay. Now, this area is just a mess, and it's going to continue to be a mess, but I can, once this is running just straight along here, I can just allow it to be more of a sheer rock face down there. Unlike 7 Days to Die, I don't believe the enemies deform the terrain in any way when they're attacking things. Could be wrong about that. It'd be a very rude awakening if I am, but... Example this. If we just take this all the way along... I've run out of materials then. That'll actually give us a nice palisade, though I do need it to go further back if I want to have the support struts. I'm going to need it to be about here, going backwards. I can make that happen, I think. What's it look like from the outside? Looks decent. Let me go and drop off some of these items. I imagine our... I imagine the mead is almost ready. I could... Actually, you know what? I need to go back to Tide's Longing anyway. We've got the thistle we needed. If I head back to Tide's Longing at this point, I can recover the portal that we left there. Then I'm not going to have to go back again. Artusamu! Thank you for the many inspirations you provided me, Aavak, through your channel and streams. Oh, that's very kind of you to say. Thank you very much for the second month there. As always, second month, best month. The Alphavar. Wait, what am I... Nope. I came here back to get my portal back and then gather stone. And then have a, aneurysm because the save game is... The save file takes so long to finish saving. You're doing it quite quick. I spent an hour and a half trying to get the ground right. Well, I'm glad that I'm not the only person who struggles with it, but it really does feel like I'm taking a long time to get it done. Well, that portal should just be over here. we go. Yoink. I don't have blueberries around enough for me to be able to ignore them. Get everything back. Yes. That's true. Actually, I could have used the portal to the portal I was taken down. Very true. I would have saved much more time doing it that way. I went and had some kids and put them through college. Has he finished leveling the ground yet? No. The answer to that question is no. On the plus side, I've now got level 39 in pickaxery. And if pickaxery isn't the correct term, it should be. So we're going to be able to pick up there. They finished? Yes, good. Alright, let's get all of these replanted as seed carrots. That one's too close. That one's too far. All right. Okay. I'll probably do 2 full rounds of carrot planting, I think. I need to build up the seeds again. I allowed them to run down quite a lot. I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't had a raid here for a while. Not that I'm complaining, you understand, but I am surprised. Alright. Let's bring this side down just a little. There we are. And then flatten this part. That bit's a bit awkward for some reason. I'm not sure why. I guess it doesn't matter too much. But from there, we continue up the palisades. This. Finally start moving back down here. All right, let's see if that gave us enough room. Yeah, plenty of room. There we go. Just pop down a bit more grass again. Grass hides a multitude of sins. Oh no, we can't have that. Grass also causes a multitude of sins. Can't have grass growing up through the floorboards. What kind of nonsense is that? Well, there we go. I think that'll be okay for now. We're going to build this out until about here. This wall. Then we're going to have another gatehouse. One that leads out. And then a road that'll go off in that direction. Because then the palisade will be down on this level. Much in the same way that we've used that gatehouse to step down the palisade. We'll do it over here. It'll be a much more dramatic step down. But then it'll run right until the end of the... right until the water's edge. We might even build out a pier so that anything that wants to approach from the water will have to go outer ways and then around. Or alternatively, I could just run the palisade all the way along there and actually fully enclose the camp. And I'm feeling that a little bit more. I think that might be a better move, ultimately. But I think that's all we need to do. I think we're more or less ready now. Hopefully, the poison resistance potion will be done. And if not, we might be able to snooze and make it done. Mobs can swim, yeah. I don't usually use Switch, so I was looking at Dapper Duckets and how they work. And to unlock all of the server modes, I need to watch 4 days, 2 hours and 45 minutes worth of the stream, not counting with bonus. I have 3 days, 19 hours and 40 minutes to go. Best of luck. In before, I get more of the planned emotes added before you finish. And you're like, no! I need to start again now. Right, there we go. Okay, mead acquired. Potions available. I need more food types. As much as I want to make more sausages, we're just going to cook and have roast meat. The way Aavak plays Valheim, 4 days should go quite easily. Well, yeah. I do wonder, Aavak, how much do you actually sleep? If I were to tell you, you'd probably tell me I don't sleep enough, so... I sleep enough for me.